Yo, welcome back. um, I was studying this morning, and just how things kind of work together. Um, I woke up this morning, just kind of sat and listened for a bit, and I, I was, I do the kind of the same thing every morning. Wake up, go to the bathroom, take my phone with me because I just watch videos while I go. And lately, it seems like the uh, the course is taking a bit of a physical turn. So if you don't know what I'm talking about A Course in Miracles, and um, it the Course in Miracles itself is an interesting text because it seems to work on the level of the mind, but I've also been seeing um, just different people who also are familiar with it that I wouldn't normally expect to be familiar with the course. And it starts to see that, or at least I start to see that there's a bit of a tapestry um, being woven, at least in the understanding of what the course's principles are. And to me, that's exhilarating, but it's also a little strange because stuff like this, I always feel like I'm going on the journey alone, and I think that's the idea, um, at least the idea of the ego, right? Like the devil in church, they were saying the devil wants you to feel like you're alone, and something that stuck out to me. Just so I'm reading on chapter 18, and this might be relevant to you. So this is chapter 18, part 6, Beyond the Body. And, you know, Jesus is just talking about how there's nothing outside of you. And in fact, this thing that you think is outside of you, you created to hold your hate. And anytime it does something or anytime you see something happen that appears to be outside of you, all you're doing is projecting it. So here's a good one. Um, Minds are joined, bodies are not. Only by assigning to the mind the properties of the body does separation seem to be possible, and it is mind that seems to be fragmented and private and alone. Its guilt, which keeps it separate, is projected to the body, which suffers and dies because it is attacked to hold the separation in mind and let it know and let it not know its identity. Mind cannot attack, but it can make fantasies and direct the body to act them out. Yet it is never what the body does that seems to satisfy. Unless the mind believes the body is actually acting out its fantasies, it will attack the body by increasing the projection of its guilt upon it. And so, what that says to me is the stuff that I've experienced in my life that seems to be um, unbelievable. This is kind of where that comes from. If if this is true, then it is also true for everybody else, even if they don't understand it's true. So it means we're unconsciously doing this. And that makes a lot of sense to me because it answers some questions that I never really knew I had. But it also helps me find some peace with, things that happened to my body that I didn't do to it, right? And so I think it can be turned into something else, but it goes on, a little more to basically say, this is paragraph 9. The body is outside of you, but it seems to surround you, shutting you off from others and keeping you apart from them, and them apart from you. It is not there. There is no barrier between God and his Son, nor can his Son be separated from himself except in his illusions. So, this is the biggest thing for me about this course is how how much it makes you kind of face what you think is yourself and the story that you've kind of crafted about who you are. Um, because when there's just certain things that like it's very hard. It's very hard. It seems like it's hard at least because there's things that like I know I've seen. At least I know I've seen them through my body's eyes. There is no barrier between God and his Son, nor can his Son be separated from himself except in his illusions. This is not his reality, though he believes it is. Yet this could only be if God were wrong. God would have had no God would have had to create differently, and to have separated himself from his Son to make this possible. He would have had to create different things and to establish different orders of reality, only some of which were love. Yet love must be forever, like itself, changeless, forever, and forever without alternative. And so it is. You cannot put a barrier around yourself because God placed none between himself and you. It goes on to say, you can stretch out your hand and reach to heaven. You whose hand is joined with your brothers have begun to reach beyond the body, but not outside yourself, to reach your shared identity together. Could this be outside you where God is not? Is he a body? Did he create you as he is not? And where he cannot be, you are surrounded only by him. What limits can there be on you whom he encompasses? So, if if you're watching this, and let me just tell you, I'm watching this, and every day excuse me, I would say I'm watching this, I'm reading this, and if you're watching this, and every day, for me personally, um, when I read stuff like this, when I'm meditating, or it's not because I'm trying to, yeah, I'm trying to find inner peace. It's not because I'm trying to get enlightened or anything like that. It's really just because I know I'm not an angry person, and I know I'm not a negative person, and I know I'm not a terrible person. But some days I feel like and what these things help me to do is help me to remember that that's not true. And if there are people who would say, "Oh, that makes you kind of delusional because you're just reading a book, and what's a book have to do with who you are?" And I'll be honest with you. I think there's a point in somebody's life where I think even if they are crazy, it, there's no it might hurt them more to try and make them sane. So we live in a crazy world. I don't know if it's necessarily one that we want to conform to. With that, I'll leave you, and God bless and peace.